Jamaica needs Tyrese Hall. Do you believe? Well, join Premier 7 right now for the big chat. All we get is time and choice. Be wise with both. This is an applicable quote that applies to our daily lives, as we can understand that we do have time once we are in existence. However, for a life of success or a life of satisfaction, then we have to make the rightful decision. And in this case, I want to say, people, greetings and welcome to Premier 7. I am your host, Ryan Nelson, presenting to you today a video of importance, again, in relation to the Jamaica men's national team. Of course, I do hope that you all are having a wonderful time, as in our region here, there is a storm watch, so we have to ensure then that we get ourselves prepared for it, but hope that it doesn't affect us. Because then again, we have something big that is coming around, the World Cup qualifiers in November. So we're hoping then that this storm doesn't affect anyone, right? So back to base. The topic of importance is all about Jamaica needs Tyrese Hall. Here's why. So it can be understood that we will be without one of our players in a Kasey Palmer. And I mean, Kasey Palmer is a hot and cold player, a player that not directly creates division in the fan base, but some fans do like Kasey Palmer, some fans don't. But for me, it's not about who I like, it's about which player contributes to the team in the best way, and also with that player in the team, it's an upgrade. So I want to talk about the fact that Jamaica is, of course, limited with midfielders based on quality, but we have players who we can bring in, maybe some from the local stage or some from the overseas stage. And for me, I think that Tyrese Hall is an option. But people, before I dive into the importance of this video, I just want to say that if you're new to Premier 7, please go ahead and subscribe. As you can see on the screen, Premier 7 is doing the works, ensuring that whatever news is being presented on the Jamaica men's national team, it is done in a way that is not for self benefit, but also for you, the fans, and others who will be new. So you can see on the screen several videos that was being done. The latest one was about Greg Lay, who deserve respect or more respect, and I think you guys interacted with that video as well. So then again, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. The target is 3,000 subscribers. Hopefully I can reach this landmark in November, right? And of course, if you are already a subscriber, then you know what to do. Share the content, interact, and yeah, all of those important stuffs. So back to base with the topic. Jamaica needs Tyrese Hall. Here's why. Now let me just kick things off talking about the problem without Kasey Palmer. Because for me, I think Kasey Palmer is a player that I like to see in the Jamaica men's national team. I mean, persons do have their opinions to share, but let's keep it on a respectful level. When I watch Kasey Palmer, I think he's a player who provides that link with the attacking and also the defensive area of the team. Yes, Kasey Palmer do have his flaws. Sometimes he may make a 1 and 2 bad passes, which I think almost all Jamaican players does. Sometimes he loses his head, but there are games where I think Kasey Palmer does provide that midfield, I won't say solidity, but he provides that midfield benefit to the national team that, he's playing a role that he's playing better than others. He provides that link up play that I think is necessary. His set pieces are decent enough to help us qualify for the World Cup. His ball carrying ability is satisfying, and also the spaces that he creates. I mean, yes, the latest game was against Bermuda, and some persons like myself would say Bermuda should be a team that Jamaica should breeze past. But in football, especially these days, the ball is round. To me, that means do not use the mindset to say, oh, this is just a normal team, we can beat them. You have to go out there and whip teams then that falls below us. And I think Kasey Palmer was outstanding in that game. There are other games that I think he needs to improve more on, but we cannot really stress the fact that beat a player based on the past. We have to work with what we're seeing now, seeing how well they're performing, and hopefully the coaching staff and the player takes responsibility of their own actions and see how well they can improve going forward. If a player is not performing well, then replacement is what I would suggest. So I think Kasey Palmer is a player who is reliable in the national camp, seeing that he makes himself readily available to represent us. And whenever he comes, he provides that balance in the team. He dictates rhythm here and there. He creates chances. I mean, I think Kasey Palmer is a miss for Jamaica team, but I mean, other persons will state it otherwise. Some persons are calling for Rafael Morrison, but I would always say, why not hope that Kasey Palmer was active and Rafael Morrison available, whereas more so they could integrate. But that is for a later date. The man himself, Tyrese Hall, is the person I am here to talk about. Now, before I talk about Tyrese Hall, I will be doing a comparison between him and Kasey Palmer to see the benefits that this youngster can bring into the national team. I mean, I am somewhat concerned about, is he the type of player who will just come into national team and hit the grounds running? For example, like a Lamens at Manchester United. This is what Jamaica needs right now, a player who can come in, be an upgrade, and hit the ground running, because this is the crucial stage for Jamaica. We need a player in the midfield that can dictate the play. I mean, I personally am not seeing that player. Maybe Tyrese Hall. For me, I think he can. So Tyrese Hall is a youngster, 20 years of age. He came through the Tottenham Academy, but now he's playing elsewhere at Notts County in League 2. So that is like 1-2 step down from the Premier League. And, well, most of Jamaican players are not playing in the best of the best leagues, but I don't really want to talk about that much. So let me just focus on the player. But the fact is that playing in the better leagues or the best of best leagues will make it easier for the players and the team to get better results. So we have to be careful with our selections. We have to be careful as to what we're going to do in regards to player selection, and ensuring that when they combine as a team, the chemistry is there. Tyrese Hall has played a few games for the club. Fact is that he has scored a few goals, made an assist. Not the player who will play all minutes then, based on his last couple of games. Starting 11, 33%, minutes covered 37%, goal participation 23%. Is he a cameo player, or is he a player who you can say then give him some minutes to start, take him off? That is what I'm seeing here. But I'm going to touch upon what he brings, or what he will bring to Jamaica, that convinces me. All right, so you're seeing here then, and this is what I want persons to understand. Tyrese Hall is a central midfielder, but he also can play the defensive role. So it proves then that Kasey Palmer is an attacking midfielder. Tyrese Hall is a central midfielder. So the mind should help us to know now that Tyrese Hall is not a replacement for Kasey Palmer, but what he brings to the game can be similar or even better than what Kasey Palmer brings. All right. So the thing is now for Tyrese Hall, um, similarly to Kasey Palmer, I think his creativity is somewhat there as well. Well, let me not say somewhat. It is there. His balance, his vision, but who is better? We'll touch upon that. But for this youngster, based on the games that he played for the club, um, he provides something that we can say, oh yes, this is a very decent player. When I watch him, by way of what I am seeing online, I saw that this guy is good with the ball at his feet. His movements looks good. His body position looks balanced. He's not the finished article, but he looks like somebody who can control the pace in the midfield for Jamaica. Too often there's a huge gap in the midfield, whereas other teams break the lines and we are on the back foot. I mean, this type of player will bring control. Um, he have a lot more years to give to Jamaica, so he can become a mainstay in the midfield. Um, yeah, a player who can help us defensively because there are times when I watch Jamaica football team and there's a huge gap between the front line and the back line. We need players to control that area. And the thing is with Ravel Morrison, I am not certain why persons are always saying Ravel, Ravel, Ravel. But persons have their own opinions to share. But for me with this youngster, what I saw of him is that he is not the player who will play out of his position. He's a player who I see will take instructions. I see that he's a player who you can give his role to play and he do it in the best way possible. But in the best way possible should be a case where as he's able to do it consistently. Now, just to add more to this, what will he bring to Jamaica? He will bring energy and dynamism. All plays with intensity. He's a mobile player, covers grounds well, and doesn't shy away from pressing opponents. But sometimes pressing opponents has to be done correctly. Pressing opponents just like that, it has to be done in a unit. All right? Link up plays. Jamaica need midfielders who can combine with the likes of we have Bobby Reed. I think he would have to be the person who plays a 10 role. Other persons can say otherwise. That is the reason why I wish for persons to drop their comments because for me, it's for me to share my opinion as well. Hopefully, though, we get a Mason Greenwood because Jamaica doesn't score goals often. But Isaac Hayden with a Tyrese Hall, maybe a Bob Reed or John Russell. I only can talk about who we have. That could be something that Jamaica can use for now to qualify. His short passes and decision making makes him perfect to me for the box-to-box role. If not perfect, but suitable then for the box-to-box role. And tactically, he's flexible. He can play, as I've said, the box-to-box role. Also, he can advance as a midfielder or a playmaker. Also, provide that balance along with a Isaac Hayden in the midfield. Versatility is what coaches needs, but for me, I always say a player should be able to dominate a particular position first, master that craft, then you can be playing elsewhere. But if you're just that player who was born for that, then I think that's the plus. I mean, when I play football, scrimmage wise, sometimes I play as a wide midfielder, a defender, so that shows that I am a player with dynamism. But what I try to think about is the fact that the team needs somebody who can play good in their position. I stay at the back in the defense. So, I mean, then again, it really depends on our positions. I don't wish to say we should pick Tyrese Hall to say, oh, yes, he's good for this game without assessing the opposition teams. But the thing is, I assess Tyrese Hall and I'm seeing that this guy can bring the balance that Jamaica midfield needs. I mean, players can fail, so I'm not here to hype up the player, but what I see is what Jamaica needs. Now, let me just do the comparison now between him and Kasey Palmer to show you why I think that this guy is deserved of a chance in Jamaica team. Some person would say Kara Anderson. Of course, he has played well, and I always say that Kara Anderson is like a mini Kamavinga to me. That is for later. Now, let's do the comparisons between a Tyrese Hall and a Kasey Palmer. So you're seeing here then, Kasey Palmer, 28 years old, Tyrese 8 years less. Of course, the heat map will dictate who is in the better form. Who is in the better form. And based on what I am seeing here, based on the ratings, yes, we understand the differences in leagues. Tyrese Hall is more outstanding, 7.26 to Kasey Palmer, 6.53. Should I conclude then to say it is a blessing that Tyrese Hall should get a chance? You think about that and decide. Minutes, 32 to 45, Tyrese Hall wins that area. Total minutes played, Tyrese Hall 403 to Kasey Palmer 226. Match played, Tyrese Hall 9 to Kasey Palmer 7. Attacking, wise goals, all. Goals per game, all. Shots on target, all. I mean, this season then for the club, Tyrese Hall is dominating above a Kasey Palmer. And numbers don't lie, persons would say. Even in the defensive case, interception, all outdoes Kasey Palmer with tackles as well, clearance, block shots. In other areas as well, dribbles, ground duels. Kasey Palmer defeats him in the aerial duels, but I mean, I think this guy deserves a call-up. It is obvious then that based on what I saw, what you may saw as well, what the details here on the screen dictates, Tyrese Hall deserves a call-up. He deserves a call-up. People, do you think he deserves a call-up? Remember, I know he's not the finished product, but he's providing information here that we can run away with to say then that if Jamaica midfield isn't good enough, then this youngster can provide what we would need, at least to bridge the gap and qualify for the World Cup. Why now is the right time? He's not an instant replacement for Kasey Palmer. They're two different type of players, right? But him alongside maybe a Bobby Reed or a Russell, certainly an Isaac Hayden, is what I think will do well. I am not counting out any players because the coach and his staff are the ones who choose. But I believe that Tyrese Hall could do such for Jamaica. Some will say local players, some will say Ravel Morrison. You choose. That's your opinion. But, I mean, this guy, he has a good ceiling. And he may not be a starter based on what I am seeing. Or he may not finish all games. But he can come into the games and make a difference. Potential is there. The talent is there. Jamaica needs this guy. Give him time. Give him guidance. This guy can be a gem for Jamaica for many more years. He's already a Jamaican, but he's not given much chance. As I've said, I'm not hyping up the players because Tyrese Campbell was hyped sometimes. Saw him play bad games. Raven Morrison as well. We as fans just want for Jamaica to have the best of the best players in the team. And people, I think Tyrese Hall, so far, based on performances, deserves a call-up. So people, what's your say on the topic? Jamaica needs Tyrese Hall. Here's why. I talk about the problems not having Kasey Palmer and how Tyrese Hall can make a difference, even though it's not an instant replacement or a like-for-like replacement. But I talk about what he brings to the team. Why no? I mean, the video speaks what was there. Remember, Premier 7 is all about talking the talks in a truthful and unbiased manner. So I'm not here to hype up any players, not here for the cloud, but I need your support to make the video make more sense to others who are not seeing it. Right? So people, you all take care. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And whenever you talk, I will reply. So it's time for me to go. You all take care. Goodbye until we meet again.